so far removed from the truth of our being, it's really no wonder we're in such a mess. This world is shaped by unfettered ego and the childhood trauma that our minds are forged of. I had it easy and still mine is torture, and that's on the back of much time in thought of how to overcome these learned patterns. And more than some of these yearning adults haven't taken that time, so it ain't a surprise that this world is in tatters. Discernibly average are our attempts to understand ourselves, but then this culture breeds exactly that. A passive populace that tragically lacks an act for honestness, that would damage the masks we have to don to just get through the day, or so we're told. But I took mine off and now my growth it shows, and it's showing no signs of a halt or slowing. I learn more every day but still I falter, so it's really no small task to turn this world around. But we start by turning inwards, so let the search find birthing now. Tell me, how much do you know about yourself? Are you living in a dream or posted in the hell of your own creation? Has your pace been slow when you've been wasting moments, or are you going places that you're showing patience on your way to progress? Growing in faith or stagnating and hopeless, is your focus lasered or lazy with no fucks given for the days you're replaying over and over again? Are you known to pretend your home isn't broken and your soul isn't dead? How comfortable is it within your mind? Can you lift the disguise and witness your lies? Do you fool yourself as well as everyone else? Who are your friends and how many can tell you some real shit that's going on in their minds? To what extent are they honest? Cause life ain't the pretty picture we paint it to be. Are you kind and forgiving or hateful and mean? Do you wait and just see, or go take it and lead the way forward and forge the way to your dreams? Does fate ever seem to be not on your side? You thinking positive, or is the dominant line a negative one? Do you ever succumb to irrelevant fuss? Can you dare to just trust in the world all around? Are you scared to give up your control over everything? Never live up to life's expectation within us to grow. Does fear hold you back and limit or slow your wish to evolve? Do your toes ever itch, or are you a simple soul? Whichever it is, I just live in hope that you know it's just this. Living is so fucking sweet. I really can't be arsed with people lately, but at the same time I can feel my heart is seeking ways we can connect with the world that's around us. But I just see too many clowns that live this life with astounding lack of insight, and it's still quite dumbfounding how we hold on to our ignorance. Sometimes I think it's just not worth my time at all, so these people try and speak to me, but it's like they're climbing a wall that's flat-faced with no perch to grip. I give them fuck all to be working with. If you're coming at me with ego, then watch me turn my back, cause me going to the other side of the room to go and sit in silence and brood. I'm not giving time to your simple minds and your shit recited to prove that you're some sort of a summon. I couldn't give a fuck for the dumb shit you spent too little time conceiving. This evening I'm giving my 2 cents to the fickle minds that live a lie belief in that I don't see straight through you. I see all of your games, I see all of the ways that you keep face just to move your way through this world, thinking that I'll save you the hurt. You do your best not to acknowledge, never stopping for honest reflection. So often you're not but the best of your very own enemies. So many of these friends to me I know got zero time for. If you're not about that growth, you're probably not seeing my call appear on your phone, and that extends to everyone. I don't fear being alone, I just fear being a clone in this predetermined system, cause we deserve to live the very best life that we can. And how many of you are doing that? Oh, bloody him over there, over there doing this, doing that. Oh God, God. Not doing it how I do it, that's the way to do it. Just do it how I do it, that's it, bloody people. Bloody people. Lately I've been so repelled by any display of ego in others that I've slipped back into my own in ways that seem so unbecoming of a man like me, and that right there is a prime example of my lofty ideal of myself. I think that my mind is ample to rise above all these pitfalls, but clearly I must be still short of the wisdom and presence needed to break away from these dim thoughts, cause I've been bored of nearly everybody for no other reason than they share the folly that I hold, and lately I'm prone to forming judgments with my eyes closed to the reality of my own decline into egotistical living, which explains why everyone's been pissing me off. Must be because they just mirror the thinking that I've been doing myself. I can be pretty sure of that at least, cause what we hate about other people is almost always that which speaks to our own shortcomings. I do well to remember that I have plenty. I do well not to forget that it might get heavy under the weight of expectations that I'm placing on others. I need to remain gracious and be patient and summon only the best of myself and find ways to bring love into my interactions with the earth and its beings. I'm trying to break free from the grip of my ego, but it's the only way of living that we know. All that we know how to be is our thoughts. We live at their mercy, so our only freedom is drawn from external pleasures that turn to terrors when we leave them to form debilitating habits. We're quick to take the damage if it means we can still escape the rabid beast that we call our minds, where all sorts of lies get fortified and relabeled as truth till our thoughts are tied in self-defeating circles, distorted sight as we make our way through this tortured life, beating ourselves up when we fall a slight bit short of our expectations. It's even worse when we meet them, cause then we're left to face up to the fact that we still feel incomplete. It's never enough, but still we believe maybe the next thing will bring satisfaction. Maybe the next girl will bring all the answers. Till then it's back to simple distractions. You know we all fear being alone, and it's not because we're all social beings. It's because we clearly can feel there's something missing. We're devoid of meaning, living as cogs in this poisonous machine. There's no way to exist. What's the point in being alive if we can't find enjoyment even in the luxury and comfort we live in today? The more we progress, the more we're slipping away from the things that'll make our lives more fulfilling. This system is dead and I'm all for living. It's quite the little journey that we've been on through this past year, with many pastures new for me. You changed my path to a degree that's really no joke. Now I sit down and think about it. So much has flipped around that I can't picture how I'd live without you. But that'd be no life for me. You bring me too much peace and joy, and it's so nice to see you with a smile on your face. I see the divine in your gaze, and I could survive a whole life within the confines of the days that we spend together. So let's be friends forever. We tend to descend into pretending never. We just keep it 100, let the cards drop as they may, with a love and respect that's not too common today. And I'm so fond of the ways that you tackle this world, with a kindness and compassion when your passion unfurls. It's a hell of a sight, and I'm forever inspired. So remember, inside you there's a heaven to find. Well, I never met another lady like her, and I never will again. I couldn't hide my adoration if I endeavored to pretend. I just see her and smile, and there's nothing I can do but give up and try to move as close as I can. Darling, show me your hand. Let me suck on your fingers and summon the tingles. Let's take it real slow and let this loving just linger and make it bleed ho. It started on the barrage with this pissing in the bush together. I thought, now there's a proper girl, and I didn't know the half of it. Enjoyed the date and departed with the smile etched on my face. And by the second of our date she said I'm poly, and in an open relationship, me I keep an open mind. So I thought, fuck it, let's just take a trip and see where it goes. I'm always keen to expose myself to new takes on life, and I could feel she would show me many new things. And she did very frequently, though it was never easy. Something was always keeping me close, leaving me wanting for more. The allure of this woman was something not from before. This was topping it all. The happiness we shared, well, it was mighty contagious. I could give my all to you, and it might just be dangerous, but I threw caution to the wind, and from there we just blossomed. And I was starting to take over, if you're dead, to be honest. Well, I never met another lady like her, I never will again. I couldn't hide my adoration if I endeavored to pretend. I just see her and smile, and there's nothing I can do but give up and try to move as close as I can. Darling, show me your hand, let me suck on your fingers and summon the tingles. Let's take it real slow and let this loving just linger and make it bleed ho. So now here I sit, as hard as it ever was with the fear I slip into. It's really quite difficult to listen to my simple truth. My insecurity is shrinking some, but it's still pivotal. But still I know it's worth it all to weather out this perfect storm. I'm sending out an urgent call to be lost at sea. You knock the wind out of my sails, but it's easy not to breathe when you see me. Please believe me, I could really stop and be not a single thing more than the life that I am. Cause our connection, it runs deeper than the mind and its damn tricks. So I'll keep fighting to survive all its drastic attempts to prevent me live the best life that I can live. And the best is you, and I guess it's proof that my body gets restless when I forget this truth. I try to grasp just why my mind is anxious when glancing your eyes, and you know I find my answers. Well, I never met another lady like her, I never will again. I couldn't hide my adoration if I endeavored to pretend. I just see her and smile, and there's nothing I can do but give up and try to move as close as I can. Darling, show me your hand, let me suck on your fingers and summon the tingles. Let's take it real slow and let this loving just linger and make it bleed ho. It's a funny old time when the world that you know keep falling down. An emotional time, the tears keep flowing, I'm balling now. More often than not, my thoughts are tortured now, trying to thwart the power that I'm slowly gaining. I fought for hours, spent only taming the funny noises. Follow him through town, right down what you see. Young man walking round, looking down at his feet, with the weight of the world drowned out by the weed. Debating to turn back around and retreat, looking not one person in the eye. Introverted, in denial of the things he wants and the things he needs. Everything's been dropped, not a single dream, cause he's been told for his whole life he'd only live to 30, then it's over, bye. Sam, nice to meet you, did you enjoy your time? Did you kind of reach the type of heights that your mind had dreamed of? Or was it defined by minor procedures? About to build health, doubts to feel well, placed to displace any faith that he still felt, cause he just turned 20 now. Well, that's 2/3 of the way, lungs start to empty out, starting to hurt just awake in the morning, determined to fuck the day, stick to 4, then smoke some more, because quitting is daunting. The main thing beating him down is the same thing keeping him round. It's a funny old time when the world that you know keep falling down. An emotional time, the tears keep flowing, I'm falling now. More often than not, my thoughts are tortured now, trying to thwart the power that I'm slowly gaining. I thought for hours spent only taming the funny noises. And on top of all that, he's just learned that the ways of the world are the games that get played, and it's making him hurl, breaking down in tears as his pain is unfurled, gaining in wisdom, but he pays for them pearls with a broken heart and some hopeless dreams. So at large is his low esteem for the world around him, that there's no redeeming features, just all those evil creatures that he read about and thinks that he understands. So do you think that he cares about all of his mother's plans for her proudest moment at his graduation, when he just found out how education serves only the master race, breeds a docile nation that could be classed as slaves? No, he's gonna break her heart, set outside the ceremony, get blazed from start to finish, cause his faith in the world's more than part diminished, disillusioned, so he's living foolish, only giving to what isn't prudent, cause there's really nothing left to do except fuck the world and fuck himself too. It's a funny old time when the world that you know keep falling down, an emotional time, the tears keep flowing, I'm bawling now. More often than not, my thoughts are tortured now, trying to thwart the power that I'm slowly gaining. I thought for hours spent only taming the funny noises in my head. I'm getting a little bit lonely, but I'm a little bit sick of my homies. I'm ready for the next stage of my life, but the state of my mind means I'm transitioning slowly, wishing if only there was more people around like me. Most of you are too proud, I see nothing much but ego, I drown at sea. Before I took part in these city games, I'm falling apart but still remain on this fallen path. I deal with pain as I always have done on my own, no tantrums. I've been living wiser for a minute, I'm a different kind of timid guy that lives inside the mind that's brimming but sits in silence. Cause the more I learn, the less I know, so I keep my mouth shut, pretend I don't have a single clue what's going on around me. But I see it all, I just often doubt the point of taking part in your conversation. I'm contemplating some other shit, you'll compensate, and I'm done with this and I've lost the patience. Cause I've been getting sick of everybody lately, sat up on my high horse, probably everybody hate me. Quietly contemplating how to rise above this mess we made of this life, cause love is left to play a minor role. We're yet to face the true reality of who we are, and it's too bizarre, so I'm choosing a different route, and it's moving far in the opposite direction of where most seem to be heading. So I'm going alone, I suppose it's supposed to be this testing. Problem is, it's a little bit tough for me to make friends. I'm a little bit shy and awkward to say the least. I tried to talk but I failed to speak a single word. When people approach me, my face just speaks some funny noises. The faintest squeaks, the pain I feel remains beneath my blank expression. Keeps advances, guessing my stance, reflecting the inner discomfort. Hands are sweating at intimate functions, frantic, desperate to escape the room. Retreating to solace to maim and smooth my inner child. To this day it rules and guides my life any way it chooses. Surely there's a better way to do this. Surely I have what it takes to connect with my fellow beings. Surely I can find some mates with whom I can share some mellow evenings and active mornings, and practice falling into deeper states, our passion sprawling and seeking ways that we can save ourselves from the madness that seems to plague the whole of humanity. Oh, our tragedy, the way we react to our thoughts so overdramatically. We're never too far away from total catastrophe. But I'm looking for something more than that, I'm so bored of that. I'm looking for fellow seekers that I can see that seem up for the task. Cause I've been getting sick of everybody lately, sat up on my high horse, probably everybody hate me. Quietly contemplating how to rise above this mess we made of this life, cause love is left to play a minor role. We're yet to face the true reality of who we are, and it's too bizarre. So I'm choosing a different route, and it's moving far in the opposite direction of where most seem to be heading. So I'm going alone, I suppose it's supposed to be this testing. I'm trying to exist as a peaceful observer with the ebbs and the flows of my feelings and thoughts. I don't need to get caught up and swept in the throes with my knowing in the depths that I'm yet to expose. I'm looking for serenity and bliss at all times, where my energy never dips and emits some more shine than is common today in this opulent age that embellishes our ego but blocks and delays our search for true meaning, till the hurt we're soon feeling feeds on our spirit and it rots and decays. That's the process that I'm trying to reverse. Contentment and peace in my mind is the first and the last priority for each of my days. The hurt of the past tries stopping me from steering my way towards something more befitting of the life I embody. But my mind ain't my friend, and it's trying to stop me, trying to knock me in tangles and loops. But it's losing the battle, so it's been planning a coup as one final act of desperation to bring me back under control. But I'm too far gone and have no reservation when I say that I'm done with the whole suffering nonsense. I'm just upping my consciousness, releasing control and succumbing to what it must mean to be me at this time in this space. For that I need to be free from my mind and its games. Are you a friend to yourself? Is your mind on your side or presenting a hellish representation of reality? Lies of all kinds pretending to tell of a flawless narrative, forged with habits and thinking and thoughts of damaging, slipping and sliding into our day, wreaking havoc in all kinds of intimate ways. The more I gain in awareness, the more I know that my thoughts are becoming more and more futile to my growth than before. Now it's more silence I seek, free of the need that my mind has for all of the useless nonsense that it routinely recycles. It's like an endless stream preventing me from what I'm meant to be. Accessing, see the joy we should all be feeding only exists when you're present, free of distractions from the pure essence we forget to be. When the lessons teach us to do as we're told, never to do what we want, and we soon fall and die. Our freedom doesn't last long, and then we're sewn into a system we don't know's in existence, thinking that's just the way things are. We don't get told any different, we barely hold any inkling that there may be more to this life than living within the struggle of a torturous mind. The amount of suffering we cause ourselves is quite awesome, I find, when we identify with our thoughts, and our thoughts are inclined to bind themselves often in states of panic, rage and sadness. Tragic waves of madness are swept across the plains and maimed the masses. Still we remain impassive and ignorant to societal traits that create the damage. We come so far from our nature, it's no wonder we're losing the plot. If we don't soon find some awareness, we'll end up losing the lot. Are you a friend to yourself? Is your mind on your side or presenting a hellish representation of reality? Lies of all kinds pretending to tell of a flawless narrative, forged with habits and thinking and thoughts of damaging, slipping and sliding into our day, wreaking havoc in all kinds of intimate ways till we begin to decay. I always felt like I know if the time was right for me and you to part, I would find inside some sort of a signal or some kind of sign in the moment to let me know that we're primed for flight. And I guess that I got it in the shape of anxiety, worries racing inside of me for weeks on end. I did my best to reject it and indeed pretend that it didn't know the source of my deep descent into a state of fear, till it became more clear that the root of the tension was the way I steer away from some of the feelings that my gut was repeating, living in glutton and feeding for all you could provide, chasing your heart with no thought for the demise that would surely await, because our fortune was decided a while before we met. So was it all just a time that will go down as wasted. Should we go now and face it? Not for a second would I describe it as that. This has been some of the very best times that I had. Never have I known such contentment and peace as when you're by my side, and our sentences seem to just lose all their value. We talk through our eyes. To let go of that will be a torturous time. Neither one of us wants this, but it seems that we got this. I guess there's nothing to do but carry on with just loving. Don't seem right that we should reach this point when our love is as strong as it's been. The void that you'll leave behind will be hard to fill, but still our hearts can find a path that will allow for our bond to be continuously nurtured. If we continue as we have, we can begin to see a perfect relationship between two beings. The world needs more love for me and you could be it. So let us pretend for just a little while longer. Let me kiss you all over so you can let your mind wander to anywhere other than this pain we've unleashed. We could stay in the present for days or even weeks and be eternally blissful, not a worry in the world. It's perfectly simple with the flurry in the word is how I wake every morning when you're by my side, breaking them yawns with those cute little sides. And it's too soon to decide what's going on, but we go through it together. The ups and the downs, we're still moving as tethered to each other as we ever have been. Forever a team, our endeavours still proving an effort that's worth its while. So I am determined to try and keep learning of a purpose higher than what is common for our love to blossom in any which way that it does. Cause often we lose our best friends when we lose our lovers, but do we have to lose one when we lose the other? Or can we find new ways to make this connection last? I can't think of anything worse than to let it pass. To reject the part of my heart that you hold would be to neglect the path that has started to unfold. And I really like where we're going. To leave each other now would be a nightmare, I know it. Don't seem right that we should reach this point when our love is as strong as it's been. The void that you'll leave behind will be hard to fill, but still our hearts can find a path that will allow for our bond to be continuously nurtured. If we continue as we have, we can begin to see a perfect relationship between two beings. The world needs more love for me and you could be it. This weed be making me anxious, but I just continue to smoke and smoke through to the bitter end. You know I always do go for broke, full speed to head down what I know to be a hopeless road. My emotions know not to fuck with my day. See, I'm in a gluttonous state, me disgusting and lazy. If I struggle with self-esteem, I'd be jumping any day. I taught myself to the very best of my ability to carry the zest of many a lemon tree on a good day, but now I'm all pips and brine, not even the yellow bit, the bit of white shit inside. Drained of the energy that's letting me define my condition, relying on my mind to keep getting me by, cause my decisions force my existence to be a more laborious one. I guess I'm learning plenty, but I still don't know when the day will come that I let go and I move on from my best foe. It's been too long and now you take more than you give. How many years have I been falling for this same old torturous shit? I may not order the trick, still I stay prone to forfeiting bits of my life to a lesser experience. I'm never delirious about the things that I'm doing. I can lift the disguise, but it really makes no difference when there's a spliff in my mind and a spliff in my hand, and I begin to decline and give in to commands. I don't know if I'm just running from something. For many years I'm going through the same thing. Many times it's been amazing, but right now I need to find a way to stay in control of myself, cause my fate is hanging in the balance. And I mean that truly, I could choose to live or I could keep it moving in a downward spiral, cause at least it's soothing. So give me one more day of getting fucked up, please. One more day to chase these empty desires, one more day to try and run from these opportune times. It's getting heavy inside of this comforting blanket. The comfort is dragging me down till I'm drowning in contentment and peace, but somehow the sound of resentment just keeps going round and round. But the sentiment seems to be lost on me. I just carry on blind, living for our vices. I'm married to mine at the minute, cause my mind is still blind to the gimmick. As the lies keep on spinning, I'm inclined to try and find my limit. So it gets out of hand time after time, because I'm all or nothing. All becomes a bore, even more than nothing. And it's an awful chore when it falls to dust without fail, till I sound frail. The rosy colour in my cheeks is now pale. My mother sees in my eyes just how feeble are my lies. I'm a fiend in disguise, and believe that's a fact that I'm keen to deny. Like I don't need to decide to either die for the weed or to keep me alive. I really fucked myself up, I'm aware of it all, but it doesn't help much. For many years I'm going through the same thing, and many times it's been amazing. But right now I need to find a way to stay in control of myself, cause my fate is hanging in the balance. And I mean that truly. I could choose to live, or I could keep it moving in a downward spiral, cause at least it's soothing. It's easy to forget that the best would unfold when I'm stuck in the small picture, trying to protect and uphold the firm grip on reality. And it's slipping and sliding, pulling one way then the other, emerging in different guises till I'm tired and I'm confused by my mind and its abuse. Its refusal to let my life be guided as I would choose, forcing its own agenda to bring about self-destruction with thoughts that I know are senseless. But the torture is so relentless that sooner or later I hear what they say and take it as true. So the fear it replays and the cycle continues, and the spiral begins to go deeper and deeper, and the light at the top it gets weaker and weaker, and I'm fighting to stop myself losing sight of just what it does mean to be me. Struggling to remember how it feels to be free of this worrisome pattern of thinking. The flurry of panic I sink into, I have to bring myself back from the brink. In too many days in my week now I move many ways to find peace now. Still there's a steady train of unpleasant games forever playing. I can't breathe now or find just a slight bit of stillness without my mind just deciding to fill this with persistent reminders of my decline, up until it takes me back to the place where I started. The confusion returns, I find my space in the darkness is starting to take its toll on the faith that I'm partial to harness and break the mold I've worked hard to maintain for so many years. So now free me, so free me, from my mind, from my mind. But this ain't my first dance with the devil, and since the last time I've been enhancing the level of awareness I hold. And in fairness, I'm prone to deal well with diversity, so I'm prepared for the growth that this struggle will set forth. When we suffer, we get more in return, regardless of whether we saw it at first. So bring on all of the hurt and I'll face it with zest. You know my biggest challenge is my greatest success. To initially fail is the only way to progress. So may I obtain the strength to relish my weakness and face the tests and their devilish features with the seamless intelligence and reverent demeanor. When I need the help of others, may I seek it with ease. I'm trying to deal with my problems, not leave them to breed and to morph into something bigger. I'm a fortress and nothing withers. The walls I fought to configure will stand tall, I'm sure, cause much dimmer times have inflicted my mind, and it won't be long before I begin to reside in times of peace and serenity once more.
So free me. So free me from my mind. From my mind. From my mind.